What up, everybody? It's Tyler with Last River Aquatics and Exotics, and today we are going to be talking about the unexpected side of fish keeping. What is this? It is not my pet snake. We will show my pet snake in a video soon. If you like and follow, you will get to see all sorts of lovely little creatures that I have, and I'm going to be getting more lovely creatures all the time, especially if you guys show love and support, because if I start making money on YouTube, I can keep buying more things without my woman thinking I'm crazy. Okay, so the unexpected side of fish keeping. We all know we're going to need food, substrate. Substrate maybe not if you're doing something like a flower horn. See, I'm not nuts. Plants, filters, heaters, siphon bag, air pump, tanks, thermometers, the fish themselves. That's kind of necessary. Tubing, water additives, fish medicine, and there's a couple of risks we're going to talk about too with fish keeping that aren't incredibly likely but could happen. And you know, what kind of friend would I be if I didn't tell you that your house could burn down? I'm going to put a sound effect there. So I'm going to try to show you guys a product that I use every day, or a technique that I use every day, but today I choose a product. So we're going to start with food. This isn't really anything unexpected, but it is a brand that I've been using and it's been working well. I got Fluval Bug Bites for algae crisps for my plecos. I have Fluval Bug Bites Tropical Formula. This stuff is nice, real grainy, real small, nice for my guppies, and a lot of types of tropical fry. You can also pulverize it for your really tiny fry. I take some, crush it up between my fingers to powderize it a little bit. And then of course we have the flakes for angelfish or mollies, stuff like that. I just said angelfish because it was on the cover, to be honestly. I don't have any angelfish yet. Yeah, so here's your product slash technique of the day type thing. The things you might not expect is substrates can be hazardous. Believe it or not, this gravel actually caused me a lot of complications. I thought I rinsed it off well, and then it caused my water to be murky and dusty in the same way. It's like, do you want to go breathe in a sandstorm? That's how the fish felt, and I lost a couple of fish due to that. I've lost a lot of fish because of a lot of stupid reasons, and that's what I'm trying to share with you guys, is how not to be dumb like me, okay? So another thing is the heaters. This is one of your unexpected hazards, but also possibly one of your unexpected costs, because I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so this tank isn't heated right now. This is not my breeder tank. This is my fry tank. It is sitting at a comfortable 74.3. That's about as low as we want it for pretty much anything tropical. That's about as low as we want to go. That is my house temperature. So I thought, oh, I was good, but it was putting stress on my breeding females, because when they would go to give birth, I guess from the research I did, that was the only thing I was doing wrong at the moment. They were just too cold to function in their environment. So the breeders are sitting at a comfortable 82 right now. So the hazard of the heaters, okay, it has a spot on it that says minimum water level. And I thought this was like a top off line, and I saw nothing about this. There's no instruction on the package at all. Like, if I could see it, oh yeah. It's these right here. I'm not talking crap on the brand necessarily, but there was no instructions with this. Submersible aquarium heater. First of all, I see the top of it where the cord is, and I'm like, maybe that shouldn't be submersed, where the knob and all that stuff is. That just seems logical to me. I could be wrong, but it doesn't say otherwise. Waterproof seal, pilot light, so on and so forth. Yeah, absolutely nothing on the box about how if it is not submerged underwater, it will begin to melt the clips that came with it and burn and smoke and smolder and melt things. And if I would not have caught it in time, I probably would have been electrocuted because my hands were in the water setting up a molly tank. So yeah, that glass has to be submerged up to that minimum water level, or it's an extreme fire and electrocution hazard. The air pumps and filters, I can talk about those and the tuben at the same time. So the air pumps, you gotta have those. You need that airflow going through there that's putting oxygen into the water so it's not stagnant. It would be like you sitting in a refrigerator or a bank safe or something like that that didn't have any kind of vents or anything like that. Eventually that oxygen is going to run out because there's no clean air going in there. So that's what our air pumps are for, is to keep these guys breathing happily in their water. But what I use is these lovely sponge filters. I'm using larger ones than I have to. And these are the filters I'm using. These are in all of my tanks, okay? AquaTop Classic Aquaflow for up to 60 gallons. I have it in my 10, I have it in my 20, and I have it in my other 20. And the reason I like them a lot is because that's my filter and my air pump. We'll do a video about that another time, about setting up these sponge filters like this. There's a couple little pieces you cut out and stuff, but they're really excellent little filters. They hold the good bacteria, and when you switch, you don't really have to throw it away, because when you clean your water, you just take some of your dirty tank water and you rinse out the sponge filter real quick, and then you can keep all those good and healthy bacteria running in there, so you're not really changing the environment of your tank in any kind of negative way. It's actually good for that to be there, especially if you're doing like shrimp or anything like that. Sponge filters. And then another cost is the tubing itself, because I almost walked out of the store without the tubing, and that wouldn't have been good, because I would have had fish in a bag and had to go back out of town to buy tubing to, you know, make my fish breathe, help my fish breathe. Making sounds so forced with breathing doesn't make sense. Like, I'm gonna make you relax. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, but your tubing, your sponge filters, and the air pumps, that's a good unexpected thing, because all that works together and it's one mechanism that keeps your air going. Now, there's an unexpected hazard to the air pumps too. So, say you got them like mine, where your air pumps are lower than the top of your tube. If the power went out and for whatever reason water decided to siphon back down through and into this electrical water pump, then when the electricity came back on, let's see, I wrote this down in scientific terms: sizzle, burn, ouch. That's pretty much what'll happen. Your house will burn down.
So why do we have your air pumps low?
Well, see, the reason my air pumps are low is because I bought these little things that I wasn't expecting to buy, but for some reason it wasn't working the first time I tried it, and I was too lazy to try it again. These are called check valves, which not everybody uses, but everybody should. This would make it where if the power goes out, water cannot come back through. And it says in and out on there, and I'm betting I just installed it backwards. Now that I see it's labeled. See, we're learning together, guys. Another thing is going to be thermometers. Do not completely submerge these. I don't know if it can take it or not, but I've got these little Zoomed digital thermometers, and then I just dangle that little thing at the end right there into the water, so it's just enough, but I don't let the cord go into the water until just now. There we go. Now only the thermometer is exposed. Low battery warning. It's okay. But yeah, the thermometers are going to be good, because even slight temperature, not slight temperature differences, it's just once it gets to a certain point, like at this 74, if it dropped too much, I'm like switching a heater somewhere, or I will, because my pet store is closed, and like I said, I burned a heater. It's sitting in my bathtub right now because I didn't know where else to put it where it wouldn't burn something. It got that hot, and I got a little blister on my finger and stuff. Yeah, it was frightening. I could just be an idiot, but there were no directions. I showed you guys the package. There's no directions on how to use those things. I didn't think I had to YouTube how to plug something in without dying. Okay? So another unexpected thing is going to be the additives. Now we are expecting additives like our API, which I've vouched for a few times. Again, not sponsored. The tap water conditioner says to do exact measurements. I've just done it enough times that I kind of just splash some in there based on how big the tank is, throw it in, and I do this every time I top off too. Like put some in the extra gallon or two of water that you put in there. Another additive that you may consider, which has helped my mollies that weren't looking good when I first brought them home, which we'll do a video about soon. Actually, we're gonna aquascape their tank together, so that's gonna be fun. I'll drop my notebook. But not necessarily making it brackish water. We already did a video about this. Go back and watch before you crucify me in the comments on this video. Aquarium salt in these freshwater aquariums is a godsend. It is a lifesaver for your tank and for any guppies or pretty much most ailments that could be going on in your tank. You want that aquarium salt. Other things you might not be thinking about is your tester kits. I right now am about to go drop $40 on an API tester kit, but it tests broad spectrumly the issues that I have possibly experienced, because there's only a few other things that could be going wrong. I haven't had continuous death, but I'm not gonna lie, the baby plecos, they made it for a couple days, and then today, for some reason, something happened. So I need to get some KH and GH test kits, and again, stuff you just can't get away with not doing. So this is gonna mean by the time I buy that stuff, and then I will literally have everything, about $500 in for those two tanks, which this is just babies, and my molly tank that has 3 fish in it. So yeah, you could be dropping some bank into it, which might be something that's unexpected. Another unexpected thing is going to be your tanks, because you think you just have one, but then as soon as anything has a baby, you're going to need that if you don't want them eaten. Your dual tank setup, because we already talked about how these stupid little breeder box things are atrocious and they're abusive to your fish, and I think they're absolute garbage, and maybe I'll just design a better one day, and if one of you do it, I will absolutely take it. Something more stress-free for the mothers and that could keep the babies from getting eaten. The other unexpected thing is going to be, I may have already said this, but go ahead and get medicine like your EM erythromycin. API again. Other unexpected things, which honestly, these are just if you're dumb, you did it to yourself type things, are if you get salmonella or bacterial illnesses from your aquarium fish. I don't know why you didn't wash your hands after reaching into fish dung and, you know, different things like that, and then you went and picked your nose and ate a sandwich. That's all your fault. Don't start being like, oh, fish are nasty, salmonella. No, you're just stupid. Just go lick a turtle's butt. If this is the direction we're going with, yeah, no, the fish are not nasty. You are nasty. Also expect to put a good bit of time into your tanks. Now I'm not having to put as much time into my tanks because they're balancing themselves out. But when you first set them up, expect to put a lot of time into your tank, because you're always going to have to be adjusting something until you're happy with it. See, I'm still not happy with what's going on in all my tanks, so I just got more adjustments to do, and eventually they will be perfect and they will be zen, and we will have our stuff balanced out, and you guys will get to join us for all of our aquascaping adventures and stuff like that. Also, yeah, I already said you're probably going to need an extra tank. Just expect to get it. It's highly addictive. I don't have enough tanks right now. I have 3, and I feel like I have to have a whole room of them, and I literally have an empty room I'm about to fill with fish tanks, because it's a very addictive hobby, and if you plan on breeding or making money off of it in any way, which, like for me, it's a lucrative business, because there's really no one around me for hours that has quality fish that they're breeding locally. You know what I mean? Not in a business standpoint, and that's what we're trying to do here. Also, another thing to expect is death in your tanks. especially if you're new to it like I am and you're always learning something every day. You're like, okay, I think I'm ready, I think I got this, and then there's something else you can learn. I may revise every video I do later down the line because I may learn something different and be like, oh my God, I'm a freaking idiot, and change everything that I have said and done and like apologize to everybody for whatever happened to their fish. But things change every day, but I do think we're starting to get things balanced, and these are some of the unexpected things that went with the expected things. It's also kind of a messy hobby, especially if you got more tanks going on. It's not that the tanks themselves are making a mess, but you carrying water and stuff back and forth can be a bit messy. My bedroom floor was wet from taking fish water back and forth in jugs and buckets of shit the other day. So yeah, and I think that's about it for the unexpected stuff that I had to talk about. Don't burn your house down. That goes for your heaters and your tubes. And by the way, next time I do a video, hopefully if I can get them to work, I will have my check valves set up so that I'm not being an idiot and I'm practicing what I preach. And hopefully we'll get to aquascaping the molly tank soon. So until then, have a wonderful time. Bye. Please like and subscribe.